Hi folks, this is a truly unique industrial opportunity here in western New York. It's 380 Vulcan Street. There are various addresses, but we'll call it 380 Vulcan Street in the town of Tonawanda. We're just north of the city of Buffalo. In the distance there you see the sprawling General Motors plant, which is along the Niagara River. Opens to two access points to the I-190, which in turn goes east to the 290. The I-190 goes north to Grand Island, Niagara Falls, and to a couple bridges to Canada. The Peace Bridge is just to the south. Looking eastward on Vulcan Street, the street in the distance is Kenmore Avenue. Years ago, they had something called the Western Electric Plant. It's been developed long ago by Uniland, just on the east side of Kenmore Avenue. The overall site is about 10 acres. We're looking at a small 2,600 square foot office building, which is air conditioned and pretty much ready to go. Then there's the structure for what could be another industrial property. The main areas currently are to the left, as we're looking at this, is a building of about 26,250 square feet. These things can be separated and leased individually. Then there is to the right, looking straight ahead, is an area of about 14,250 square feet. The biggest part of the collection of buildings is what we're looking at now. It's the western portion of 117,000 square feet. We'll go through all of this shortly. Now we're looking back again toward Vulcan Street, but you can see the potential for the development of the parking lot and access points. And as we'll go through the property, there's overhead doors all over the place, very accessible either as one large user or divided into several other industrial tenants. Wanted to give you a look at the roughly east and north side of the property. This is the back of the 117,000 square foot area. And there is access that can be opened up to Kenmore Avenue. Kenmore Avenue is in the distance beyond the trees there. But you can see the huge lot that's available for truck access and parking. And we're panning back to again look at the east side of the General Motors plant. We're looking back at the outside again of the 117,000 square foot area. This building was a plant. It's about 70 years old. You can see that there's varying heights to the ceilings. The two smaller areas are relatively new. They were built at about 2006. But you can see there's separate areas. We'll get into the area between the two buildings so they could be leased separately. The important point here is it's now in the hands of a very experienced developer, and they're as we speak, they're separating the electric. That's Niagara Mohawk's trucks right there. They're separating the electric for the various functions here. This is the truckway between the 26 and 14,000 square foot areas, and as you'll see, there's overhead doors accessing this path. We're looking westward within the 26,250 square foot warehouse. You can see the racking that's in place that could be valuable. There's no heat currently right now, but there's electric, and we'll take a look at the 4 dock doors and a couple overhead doors that are here. It's between 20 and 24 foot clear. We're back on the west side and the inside of the 26,250 foot warehouse, and you can see the 4 dock areas, the large overhead door, and this is the door that goes to the truckway between the 2 buildings. The other one is 14,000 square feet. And here's the outside of what we were just looking at, and the truck dock area. This is the outside of the 14,000 square foot warehouse, which we'll go into in a second. We're inside the 14,000 square foot area, and you can see the doors work just fine. We have 2 big doors across from each other in the narrow part, and then looking ahead is the 3rd overhead door to the truckway between the 14,000 and 26,000 square foot building. Racking may be valuable to a tenant. And here's the access point to the 117,000 square foot area. So you can see all this could be fully integrated or separated for individual tenants. We're in the 117,000 square foot area, but we're starting with the lower area that's closest to Vulcan Street. And this might be, say, it's roughly 10,000 square feet, and these could be the offices for the separate 117,000 foot area. Behind us is an overhead door, however, so the whole thing could be manufacturing. However, it's being conceived by the tenant. And looking through that door, we'll see there's another overhead door on the, I guess it'd be the east side of the building. Here we're looking back toward the balance of the low bay area. So you can see how this opens into the much higher bay industrial area to the, I guess it's be the north side of the 117,000 square feet. To the beams, it's roughly 25 foot high, although there's an area that extends far higher than that. We're looking back now toward the other 2 smaller buildings and on the GM side of the property. Again, looking back on the GM side, there's overhead doors again on that side of the building, plus the area that we walked through before leading to the 2 smaller buildings, and then still overhead doors really throughout the entire perimeter almost of this larger building. Here we're looking back toward the 14,000 foot area, and you can see that there are overhead doors facing the GM side of the building within the 117,000 square foot area. You can see how flexibly this 117,000 square feet could be divided. Here you have an area, it's probably only about 6,000 square feet, but you have 3 overhead doors right here. This would be just to the east of the 14,000 square foot area. And by the way, the door that we're looking at right now lines up with one of those doors in the 14,000 square foot area. And here again is an area, it's probably about 6,000 square feet before it joins the larger area, but you can see that there's flexibility, again, about division. This is a low bay area that adjoins the two areas we just looked at. So you can see, again, there'd be divisions possible. This portion is just to the east of where we just walked in those three smaller areas, but this is progressing toward the rear or east of the 10-acre site. This would be the extreme rear of the site. That right ahead of us would be the point at which you could access Kenmore Avenue. You can see even here we had some overhead doors. Here we're panning toward the Kenmore Avenue side of the 117,000 square feet. There's even a locker room here. This is in the extreme, I guess it'd be the southeast corner or northeast corner of the building. There's a locker area. Obviously needs remodeling, but there is the plumbing in place. One more look back at the big area with our backs to Kenmore Avenue. And what we're now looking at is the entrance to what might be the office area of, say, 10,000 square feet on the Vulcan side of the building. Here again, we're looking on the GM side of the building, where we'll get another look at those four overhead doors, dock doors. So one last peek. This is the truckway, and the orange corrugated building there is part of the 117,000, but here is the 14,000 square foot area that adjoins it. We saw the overhead doors and the two matching overhead doors between the 14 and 16,000 foot areas. So there you have it. You can see things are a little rough right now, but you can see the footprint is spectacular here. It's reasonably apportioned buildings for the 10-acre lot. Pretty much infinite flexibility because of the proliferation of the overhead doors throughout all of the industrial buildings. They can be integrated or not, separated. You can see how there's separate protrusions from the big building that could be used separately. So give me a call. I'm Steve Hunt, Hunt Commercial Real Estate. My number anytime is 716-444-0299, 716-444-0299. Email me shunt@huntcommercial.com, shunt@huntcommercial.com. We'll be sending you maps and aerials and all sorts of stuff like that. Thanks very much for looking at this.